Episode 4. Hello, if you are watching this video before Episode 3, do not be alarmed. Because of unforeseen events and errors creating the scripts for the previous video, at the moment, I will be releasing that video at a future date. I am recording this video live, so if I make mistakes in this video, they will be corrected on screen. Making strength and defense system work in NESmaker. Go to the website below. The original script and topic is by Kanbei85 and Francois Brodeur. Thank you both very much. Okay, the feature description is strength minus defense equals damage. So for example, if your strength is 4 and it's against a defense of 2, then you do 2 damage. So it's 4 minus the 2 would equal the 2. Strength minus defense equals damage. Step 1. Setting up. In the original forum post, Kanbei85 mentions, for reasons that are a complete mystery, Joe and the developer team, such as it for NESmaker, did not see it fit to enable the strength and defense system already present in the GUI. Out of the box, NESmaker will enable your weapon to do a single hit point of damage to a monster, and likewise a monster can only do a single hit point of damage to the player. Out of desperation to get this working, he began to do his own study with Francois. With his help, and by following a tiny bit of assembly tutorial knowledge, they got the strength and defense system working. So from here on out, I've taken the forum topic and I've annotated it and made it so it works for us, because there's some translation errors that I had problems with. Now, I haven't tested the scripts yet because I am working live, but there were a few things in here that just didn't quite make sense to me. Not as much as simple things like these, or this, but when you start to get to how he tells you how to do this, I explain a little bit more about these steps and exactly where you would put this code and where you would put the player hurt code and the monster hurt code, where you would want to put that. Script edits for your monster hurt, your player hurt, and all the other stuff. So, following what he says and following the way I simplified it is, first you will go into your 0-page RAM variables and you're going to create new variables. So project settings, 0-page RAM, you hit add, and you're going to add these two. The post doesn't say whether to use 1 byte, 0, 2, or 3, so I just keep it at 1. Alright, close that once you've created those. And then object variables. We're going to create object strength and object defense. And then last, you'll want to create that user variable for my defense. It says in the forum topic post, it's because strangely when the player dies, his defense resets to 0. So we're going to create state. It says in the topic. So what we're going to do is open project settings. And you look for your create state. So you go to script settings and you look for the create state. Take note of what file the create state is. So right now it's do create state, add extra variables, adventure base. So I'm going to go and look for that file. Right there, do create state, add extra variables, adventure base. So if you look at that file, all it is just this. We're going to edit the file. So then after that, it should look like this. So I've included the file that's edited. This is what it looks like. Now if you look in the forum post, there's the code. There's the code. Alright, so make sure that you've made a copy of your original file before you would edit something like this. So make the original, make a copy of it, and then hit save. Yeah, that's right. Save it to the copy that you make, not the original. So in my case, I named it Adventure EX. And then I'm going to make it so the game goes to that location and not the original location. So here's my subroutines. Here's the copy. Here's the original. There's the original. There's the copy with the edit saved. Script settings. In your script settings, go to that create state. So in subroutines, create state. Go to your project folder that you made that's got the mod or the mod folder. If you're using the Adventure EX mod, subroutines, and then you would find this one that we just saved. And then if you want to double check that, you just close it real quick, open back up just in case to double check. Go to create state again, go to edit, and there it is. Alright, we're not going to run the game just yet, but there shouldn't be really a problem running it. It's going to do some wild stuff and you're going to have problems probably with certain things, so just don't run it yet. He says essentially the result is now that the strength and defense are available in the scripts to use as needed for objects, monsters, weapons. They also work for the player object, but for some reason they get cleared as the player dies. So this could possibly be fixed in its own right, but he found it easier to use the user variable my health and my defense instead. So if you look in the script that he's edited, there's my defense, there's my health, and there's my health down there. There's my health. That's the only time to use my defense, looks like in that script. So it tells you to just put it generally in the damage section on your player hurt. Doesn't say exactly where, so I'm going to show you exactly where. Alright, so this is where it gets crazy. I did some minor edits to make this code work with the module. I haven't tested anything yet, but I had to, make the logic essentially work for everybody. So please note that in the forum topic, it's quite vague about a few things, so I figured it out for us. What this does ideally is a simple set of math equations. Strength minus defense equals damage. Health minus damage equals your updated health. Alright, next you're going to open the player hurt script. The player hurt script is located in project settings, script settings, common, player hurt. Handle player hurt. There we go. So what we're going to do here is again, find out which script it is. Player hurt health. We're going to edit that script. We're going to make a copy of it before we make edits. Player hurt health. Make a copy. This will be my copy. Going to edit the copy. I'm going to show you the original before I make any edits to my script. So this is the original script. When you edit the script, on line 31, BEQ not already in hurt state. It's the first thing you'll notice. Oh, I must have already done the edit in my version. Yeah, I already did the edit in my version. Alright, so this is what it was in the original. For reaching, you'll notice about 10 or so lines of code beneath it before you reach the not already in hurt state. You're going to want to replace the BEQ, not already in hurt state, with BNE, not already in hurt state, plus. So you do the BNE plus, which means you're going to go to that location, and if you don't have that equal, it'll do this. So it's not 0, it's like that. So I did that right there in that edit. The reason why you do this is because you want to do the reverse of the BEQ, which is the BNE, and then you want to do like a jump and have the plus. I wrote it out in there. The reason why is because if you don't know about this, then a lot of people already know about this. It's if you go too far when you're going in a script, you have to have a jump. If you don't have a jump of some sort, then it'll be out of range because you're branching to a location that's like super far away. It'd be like 10 lines down or something like we down here. It's too far of a location to branch to. It takes too much memory for that, so it crashes essentially. So the way to stop that from happening would be to replace this. So that's not in their post on the forum. So that would be an edit you'd have to make to the script. So that's where that's done. And then after that, you could do that with any script. So if you just saved the script after you did this change, that's why I did that right here. That's the only change I made to this script. And I saved it. That's all you need. You can do that and it's not going to mess up your game. If anything, it'll help your game. Cause then now you're saying if it's 7, which is your hurt state, or your death state, or whatever, usually, a state that you don't want to do this hurt state again, basically, because you're already going through some kind of animation or temporary invincibility or whatever. Um, it jumps to that. But if you are not in this, it lets you get hurt, and what it is normally is just all this stuff. So that's where your hurt state would be. So I wrote in here, this is below what happens is when the player is being hurt. And then under that I wrote, beginning of the added code edit for the strength and defense. So then we have all this code. And that's what you would replace. You're going to add that in there. And there's that for the My Health. Should be like right here. All this stuff. I commented all that out. So that's all commented out. But then you need that recoil part of it, which is right here. So basically it's 34 to 43 or 44 basically, because this line doesn't even really need to be here. It could be like that. So these lines right here, gone. You just comment them out. And then you use the recoil to get your speed X and all that stuff. And then you do all this as normal. So I wrote down at the end of here, basically, this is the end of the commented out lines. These are the lines that are commented out. This is the end of the added code that we did. Here's the beginning of the added code. So this part, added. This part, commented. This part was the original code. That's it. So there's that part. That part's done. I'm going to give you copies of all these files too, so you're set up with all this. It's like, here's your player hurt. Since I have it, it tells you exactly what's being done in mine, I have it heavily, like, all this stuff, monster, strength, player, defense, value, all this is in here. I purposely added all this in here just to tell you what's going on. Some of it was in here before, but I added a bunch of extra stuff in here to all of the scripts I edited. Where So that's where we did all the edits. Next, you'll notice I commented all that stuff out so it worked, so it didn't like go twice or anything like that. Save the file. So that's what the commented stuff looks. Oops. That's what the commented out stuff looks like. So then after that, you got to do the monster hurt script. So you find the monster hurt script. Same way, check your project settings, script settings, common, handle monster hurt. So before that, we would obviously be associating the new player hurt script with that. And then we'll find the monster hurt script. Oh, look at that, it's right under there. So then you find out which the monster hurt script is. Do handle hurt monster adventure base. There you are, you make a copy of that. There's ours. So do what I did with the other one. Alright, it says copy the file. You'll be editing the copied file. Make sure that that file is associated with your project. So we're just going to copy file, which we already did. Associate the file before we do anything else. Which for you right now, that's the same file essentially. It's just whatever you named the copy. All right, the original. It's a lot simpler edit than the player hurt was. This is because I'm pretty sure this script doesn't have as much different from ours, so it looks pretty good. You'll notice the monster hurt code in the forum he mentions. The change action step, temp 07. This line for me is an indicator. That's where I start my edits. I start above this line in the script for the monster hurt because he does that right after. Um, so looking at the monster hurt adventure base script, I noticed in line 39 of the code is present. So 39, there it is. Above that line, I added the following script. So there's the following script added. You'll notice the script starts with that. You'll notice that there's some minor edits to the script. Essentially, it was edits done to references that don't exist in this module or were for a particular module or game project he was doing. Um, After pasting in the script in your file, below the end of the edits, you need to comment out the following lines. These lines need to be commented out. So this is what they look like. When you comment them out, they'll look like this. Those lines. That seems like that's everything that needs to be done. Everything else is just as normal. It's your droppables, all that other stuff going on here, checking for the monster block tiles, everything else. So make sure you save your edits, and since everything's already associated, you should be able to test it. Alright, when you test, first you'll notice if you didn't set things up yet, nobody's taking damage. I didn't even unlock the weapons yet. Yeah, so you're not taking damage, they're not taking damage, nobody's taking damage. Alright, that's because we never set it up yet. Now let's see here. Set up the melee weapon. Details. Okay, give it a strength of 1. That's it. Let's save it. Go to info. We might as well unlock the weapon. And we'll test it. There you go. Look at that. Doesn't seem to be doing its drops though. There we go. Look at that. There's the drop. Ooh, drops. Now, okay, let's go to the monster. You'll notice the monster can't hurt you. Well, you might think that's a good thing. It's not really a good thing, I guess. Let's go to the monsters and check them out. Let's give them a strength of 1. Yeah. But there, you got hurt. Now, what happens if we do something like give the player a defense of 1? They're still taking that damage. Set like a minimum of 1 then? Okay, let's give the enemies a strength of 2. Check that out. The player should have a defense of 1. Oh, they're doing 2 points of damage. Let's give the player a higher defense then. Might just be counting 1 and the player is 0 for the defense. I don't know. So I'm going to give him a defense of 2, so maybe the monster does 1 point of damage now. They're still doing 2. So the player's defense isn't working. I'll give him a 3 on defense. It's not stopping anything. Alright, checking something else out. Let's just lower the monster down to 1 strength. Give the monster 2 defense. See if it stops any damage at all. I mean, from player weapon to the monster. Yeah, it looks like the monster is invincible. So it's doing the calculation for the monster. So maybe I did something wrong with the player script. So I'm going to lower the player defense down to 1 again. The monster's got a strength of 1. Monster's got a defense of 1. Should still be 0 damage. Let's just test that out to show that the player is still taking damage before I edit the script. The monsters do not. And you know what? My defense They never said to set it to 1, but I'm going to try to set it to 1 before I do any script edits. Try this at 1. Maybe 1 is what it needs to be at. That's why they kept saying it resets to 0 when you die. Okay, I'm not taking damage. But what happens when I go to my player? Excuse me, sorry for clearing my throat. Put the defense at 0. Is that what we needed to do? Nope. Trying my defense at 0 again. Putting the player defense at 1. Confirming for the control that the player is taking a single point of damage. But they should be taking 0. Alright, the fix was pretty easy. All it was if you reference the object collision script and you go to where the player gets hurt by the monster, it's like do handle hurt player goes to, because that's basically this. If you look at the subroutine basically makes you jump to here. Well, the whole player hurt script. Anyway, so before it goes there, you would see the other object is the monster, the self object is the player. So you're going to load into X the self object. Then you're going to load the object defense of X, which is the self object player, into the the accumulator, and then that's going to give you the number, and then you're going to store that into your defense, and then it does the math. So, showing it working. Defense is 0. I'm gonna get hurt by a monster whose strength is 1. As you saw, the monster strength is 1. I'm sorry this is taking so long. So look, I got hurt 1. That's not been a problem. Problem is getting this to work, right? So we go here. Defense of 1. Not taking damage. Check it out, it works. Alright, and so we give the player 1 defense. Gonna make sure this math works, because before last time it didn't work proper. We give the monster strength of 2. So now if this isn't working proper, the player's going to take 2 damage. If it's working proper, the player would take 1 damage. Well, he's taking 1. Or he's taking 2. Oh, when the player dies, he said it isn't resetting the defense back. Interesting. Here, show it takes 1. Ooh, what the heck happened? Player died, it did something. There you go, see I took 1. Bounced off, took another 1. Died, and then it's like he said, it's resetting. And look, you're taking 2. So unfortunately, the solution to that, I guess you would have something to do with like, well, first of all, I'm gonna check what happens when the player dies, because I don't actually know in this module what happens when the player dies. How the 0 it does all this. I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna jump reset. Because right now we're not using lives or any of that. We can handle all that stuff later. Just to make sure this works. Yeah, so it works. So we're gonna have to just jump reset the end of the player's script, and like, because you don't have lives to continue with and stuff like that right now anyway. So that's why it's all weird when it does that. So we're just gonna do that. Just jump reset. Comment that out. Jump reset. So when the player dies, they jump reset the game. You only get 1 life. If you want, you can give them more lives, and it actually should be fine. Because what happens is when it loads the screen, for some odd reason, it's not counting that variable at all, even though it's 0. Yeah, 0, 0, but it should at least say the variable's there. When it starts the game, it's saying the variable's there. So I could probably just do something like another solution might be right here. Try this. Instead of the jump reset, I'm sorry this video is running long, but I'm going to try to find other solutions to fix this script too. So when you die, it does all this stuff, right? Screen transition, warp, game handler. It's going to load your health, your max health, into your health. So we're going to load zero stored into my defense and see what happens. So I have a feeling it might fix it. So it's not going to jump reset this time. No, it didn't fix it. Interesting. Well, we'll have to tackle it some other time. For now, we're just going to do the jump reset. So I'm going to comment all this back out again. And we're going to do the jump reset when you die. We'll find a way to fix that. At this moment, I don't know what to do to fix the my defense thing. Might actually just get rid of that variable if it's still resetting to 0. Why do we even have that variable in the first place? I don't know. But for now, it does work. It's just you have to have the jump reset in here. For some odd reason, if you have more than 1 life, so if you're using this in another module or anything that's got more than 1 life, for some odd reason it's doing this. Checkpoints, we could try to find out what we're doing. I don't know, to fix that defense thing. Maybe somebody can help. Maybe somebody can message me. Anybody that could watching this video that knows anybody that could try to fix this problem, give me some advice in the forums, message me privately, something like that. All right, please check this out. It does work. I'm gonna post it as it is, and you guys can, do what you must. Enjoy it as you will. I'm sorry, this is the best I can do for now. Thank you, and have a great weekend. Happy holiday.